Here's Henry. Gilberto. Interception only finds Ljungberg. Early save from Brad Jones. Arsenal are looking sharp, ready to pounce on any mistakes that Middlesbrough may make. Reyes. Henry just managing to skip away from Bates for a moment. Reyes is brought down, and what a dangerous place to concede a free kick. Matthew Bates, the guilty player. Initially, Henry looked as though he was impeded, and there Reyes had his legs taken away. Henry looks threatening even when he's 5 yards away from the ball. Oh, and he was so close to scoring. Beautifully taken free kick, and less than a ball's width away. Funny thing is, we've come to expect nothing less. Constant reminder that the future is just around the corner here, namely the Emirates Stadium at Ashburton Grove. This is lovely play, and now Ljungberg again. Reyes at the near post. Henry at the far! Sensational goal from Thierry Henry! His first strike of 2006. There aren't many people that can strike a ball like this. Lovely play by Ljungberg. What a finish. We've only been playing for 20 minutes, but that's been coming. They may not be at the top of the table, but Arsenal do know how to play the beautiful game. Now it's Reyes. Ljungberg's in a lot of space on the near side, but then so's Pires over there. Henry wants it. They're almost queuing up. It's Fabregas! Good save by Brad Jones, the young Australian. Got down well to deny Fabregas. Arsenal are looking good here. Must be said that Jones had to be on his toes against Nuneaton Borough in the FA Cup last week as well. Here it comes again! It's 2-0! Philippe Senderos! What a towering, powerful, commanding header that was. 2 goals in 3 minutes for Arsenal. They lead Middlesbrough by 2-0. Look at this, there was only one man going to win that. And it certainly wasn't one of the men wearing blue today. What a powerful header there by Senderos. The gap between the goals for Arsenal, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Here's Mendieta. Now Rockenbach. Viduka just ahead of him here. Mendieta, the furthest player forward in support. Doriva. Cut out by Pires. And Reyes, look at this run now from Henry. Jones is committed. Oh, it was the easiest job in the world for Thierry Henry to slide it past the onrushing goalkeeper. And now Henry is just 1 goal short of equaling Cliff Bastin's Arsenal club record of 150 league goals. There's plenty of time left for a hat-trick today. Arsenal lead by 3-0 inside half an hour. A finish as precise as the clock that hangs high above the goal at that end of Highbury. Listen to the applause here. The return of Ashley Cole. For the first time since October, the England fullback returns in the colours of Arsenal. And that will be a relief to Sven-Göran Eriksson, the watching England coach. And it's Thierry Henry, supported by Pires. Ljungberg makes a lung-bursting run in the centre, but Pires goes alone! And Pires scores a lovely goal to round off a marvellous first half for Arsenal. Pires had options, he had choices, but the fact is, he didn't need any of them. This is a goal of the highest quality. Reyes. Support from Ljungberg on the far side. Gilberto Silva racing into the penalty area in support. It's Henry! Oh, and you'd have bet your house that he'd score there. Well, he puts the hard chances away. And that was rather uncharacteristic. We'll let him have one of those. He must be rather concerned. His team haven't won in the Premiership since November. Ljungberg now for Arsenal. Well, he's going to have to go it alone there. It's against the youngster Andrew Taylor, the debutant. Really testing him today. Free kick. Foul against Rockenbach. Well, at 4-0 up, maybe time to try out a training ground routine. Here it is, and Pires scores his second of the match. But the flag goes up straight away. And it was very nearly 5. Fair to say, he couldn't have asked for too much more today. And now it's a yellow card. Foul on Reyes. Doriva. Here it comes. Oh, and it's in! 5 for Arsenal. Gilberto Silva. Here it comes, and Gilberto Silva was played onside on the near side. Lovely delivery. Jones couldn't get hold of the ball. Easy to keep track of who's scored for Arsenal so far today. Good job too, I'm running out of space on my sheet. The worrying thing from Middlesbrough's point of view is that the final whistle is nowhere near in sight. It's not on the horizon yet. We still have a quarter of the match to play. 22, 23 minutes. Mendieta. Easily dispossessed. Borough conceded 5 here at Highbury last season. They've conceded 5 today. Are they about to concede a 6th? It's Henry, and it is 6! And it's a record-equaling goal from Thierry Henry. Cliff Bastin's all-time club record for league goals is equalled. That's number 150 for the Frenchman. And it completes a hat-trick. Beautiful pass through. And there was never any doubt that he'd score. A worthy goal to equal a worthy record. Arsenal's record scorer is their joint all-time league scorer. Well, the England coach has left the match. How could he leave entertainment like this before the final whistle? And Henry gets a free kick because Doriva pulled his shirt. And he's in trouble here. It's a red card, and he has to go. Doriva there with a pull on Thierry Henry's shirt. Referee given little choice. Middlesbrough have got a corner. Their 3rd corner of the match, with 13 minutes to go. Chris Riggott beaten to the ball. Riggott stayed up here. Oh! And Lehmann was beaten. Yakubu! What a flying save by Arsenal's goalkeeper. Well, it's taken them 78 minutes to come close to scoring. Riggott did there. Lehmann was beaten the first time, but he did really well to scramble across and palm away Yakubu's effort. Ljungberg. Henry makes the run ahead of him. Here he is now. Kleb struggling to try and keep up with the play. It's in towards Reyes. It's Kleb! It's 7! It's one that Alexander Kleb will remember for the rest of his life because it's his first ever goal for Arsenal. 7 goals at Highbury. Not an English goal scorer among them, but a feast for home fans nonetheless.
It has given a lift as well to everybody that Thierry has come out, and of course, you know, it's not a surprise anymore. They'll beat all the records who existed at Arsenal Football Club. The question you could ask now is, could that be beatable one day by anybody else? And you could come to a conclusion, certainly not.
I've just said to the kids in there, they're going to be good players in the future. They're the future of Middlesbrough Football Club. And this is an experience that they'll always remember and will make them stronger in the future.
Oh, they'll certainly remember the experience, Mark. But a brilliant performance from Arsenal against a very inexperienced young Middlesbrough side, and Henry in particular was...
Well, we rave about him on this programme, don't we? And he never apologised for showing any VT about Thierry Henry because he's just absolutely sensational. And I think if you're the chairman and the board of directors, I think you might be having the contract talks this week because he's been in an extremely good mood, and you just might get him a little bit cheaper than you normally would. And
he might win Trick of the Season.
This is
worth seeing. We picked this out late in the game. You might not have seen it in the edit.
He's been watching Ronaldinho, isn't it? Because this is meant. This is absolutely fantastic. And I suppose if you're at the match, you probably thought,
what's he doing?
It's a mistake, didn't you? Because it happened so quickly. But it's just the look that he gives, and this is the angle. It's just he has the look, and it's fantastic.
I love that.
Absolutely brilliant. But everything about him, Gary, and you know, you might call it showboating or whatever, but the thing about him is...
Call it entertainment.
Well, yeah, but the thing about him is he scores the goals as well. That's why he's so fantastic to watch.
He's human, though, isn't he?
Rumour has it. Mind if you're playing your pumps, what do you expect? I mean, he can wear white boots, by the way.
He could play in anything. Now Middlesbrough, they've got problems. Lots of injuries. And
massive problems. He's got the replay against Nuneaton as well, I think, Tuesday this week. No wins for 8 weeks, 3 points from something like 24. Yeah, and it's all right saying, yeah, it's great experience for the kids that played. I don't think 7-0's great experience, to be quite honest with you.
And a big test for the manager.
It is a big test for the manager because they're in that sort of 16th position now, so they're really up against it. So they've got a lot of work to do. They've got injuries to come back, which he'll be obviously looking forward to and be desperate for. But it's a very difficult situation up there.
Certainly is. Before we leave you, let's take a look at the Barclays Premiership table. Chelsea, it appears, are back on top. That's fun while it lasted. A win at Sunderland would stretch their lead to 16 points. Manchester United's derby defeat leaves them just ahead of Liverpool, who've 2 games in hand on Sir Alex's men. 4th place Tottenham are 3 points clear of local rivals Arsenal, having played 1 game more. Defeats for Birmingham and Portsmouth mean West Brom can go 5 points clear of the relegation zone with a win at Wigan. Everton leapfrogged Villa after winning at Fratton Park, while Fulham are now just 3 points from the top half of the table. OK, that's it from us on the week that King Henry shared the #1 spot with Cliff. Goodbye.
This is lovely play. Henry at the far! Sensational goal!
He's joining Arsenal as a scholar because he's still only 16, but the deal taking Theo Walcott to Highbury could eventually be worth £12 million. Manager Arsene Wenger is in no doubt that the club have captured a special talent, even though Walcott has made only 23 appearances for Southampton and scored 5 goals.
I am very happy because I thought we signed an excellent talent, and that the player is ready to compete for a place in the first team. Maybe needs an adaptation period of a few weeks, but after that you have to be open. You know, we look at the quality and not too much at the age of the players.
I like the youth here. I think they get a chance to play, which is all about my development as a youngster. So just to, as I said a minute ago, just to train with world-class players, that's what I've come here for.
Walcott will have a 10-day break before joining up and training with Arsenal. Wenger expects him to force his way into the first team sooner rather than later.
I've played in the Championship. I've played over 20 games now. I've played against men, so apparently it's really quick in the Championship, and you get a bit more time in the Premiership, I've heard. So, but I've played with men, so I don't think I should find it a problem, really.
Walcott has played for England at under-17 level, and Wenger believes his talent compares to Wayne Rooney at the same age.
Wayne Rooney has achieved a lot, and you have always to be cautious with comparisons. I just believe he has the same ingredients at the same age, you know, to be a big prospect for England.
And with the Walcott signing complete, Arsene Wenger has confirmed there'll be no more transfers before the window closes. Nick Collins, Sky Sports.
Yeah, hi there, Jeff.
How has Arsene Wenger juggled his defence today, bearing in mind, you know, he's got players who are at the African Nations Cup and injury problems as well?
Yeah, I mean, he's fortunate, really, Jeff, that he's got Sol Campbell. He comes back into it, so he replaces young Juru. Pascal Segan drops out, so young Kerry Gilbert comes in at right back. Sol Campbell will partner Senderos in the middle of the park. Apart from that, there's been no change further forward. Reyes partnering Henry up front, Fabregas, Gilberto, Ljungberg, Pires on the flanks.
What about Everton, Alan? They're just the signs, aren't they? They're getting back to the form of last season, grinding out those 1-0s.
Yeah, I think they would look at that. I think that Portsmouth game at Fratton Park in particular, Jeff, where it was a horrible game on a poor surface, and they got the kind of result that they did last season. You know, quite a few times 1-0 results. So they will be heartened by that. You know, they've obviously had to juggle things themselves with Joseph Yobo going off, but they're able to name an unchanged side today from the one that beat Millwall here. Obviously short of strikers with Marcus Bent going. Will be interesting to see if David Moyes has got anything up his sleeve in that department. But what he will do, I think, he's going to play Phil Neville in a holding role in the middle of the park. Leon Osborne, Tim Cahill just in advance of that, and those two lads taking it in turns to support James Beattie up front.
OK, Alan, thanks very much indeed. Look forward to hearing you during the course of the afternoon. Now, Thierry Henry asked Arsenal to match his own ambition if he was going to stay at Highbury, and the club seemed to have taken him at his word. Theo Walcott is the third young player they've signed in a week or so. The future's just beginning to look a bit brighter than their season so far. So what does the Frenchman make of it all? He's been talking to Vicky Davis.
And away goes Henry! His second, Arsenal's third. It's the hat-trick. It's 150 league goals for Thierry Henry. Level with the legend Cliff Bastin. He is a living legend.
Do you appreciate all the records that you break? I mean, do you fully take it in? You've broken Ian Wright's, you've equalled Cliff Bastin's last week, or do you think it's only when you hang up the boots and sort of show the grandchildren the videos that you'll really realise?
Well, I don't know if they're going to want to sit down with me to watch the videos, because I might be a bit boring. No, I think, as you said, is when I'm going to stop that, you know, eventually I'm going to look back on that, because you know how it is. That's why I wanted to play football, you know. To score goals, to be remembered, to play well, you know, the look of my teammates when I step onto the pitch, the look of the fans, the expectation, whether I do good or bad. That's what it's all about, football.
Theo Walcott's just joined the club. What do you know of him?
One thing that I noticed with him, he wasn't scared, you know, to all the time go forward. You know, in any position that he was always trying to turn and attack the defender. The thing that I noticed about him, you know, the most is that he has that thing, you know, that you can sense in young talent. He is not scared when he's on the pitch, you know, and that can always be a plus for him.
Tell us about the contract. You've come out a couple of weeks ago and said, I'm staying. Is that it? You will stay now? I mean, there may be the odd wrangle, I guess, in the contracts at some stage, but nothing will veer from that. You will now stay at the club.
Well, I made it clear that, you know, my desire is to stay at Arsenal. I said also, you know, that it is important that you know, the club do has the same spirit that I have on a sporting position. You know, so many people talking about money and all this kind of stuff. I never, you know, when I went the first time out on the pitch behind my building in my neighborhood, I never thought about playing football. I never thought about, you know, getting money. You know, so my main priority is not there. You know, I'm a winner, and I love the game, and that's all. The only thing that does count for me is that, you know, I just hope that, you know, as I said, you know, also in the press, that the club can match my sporting ambitions. You know, that is the most vital thing for me. And you know, my desire is there. I wanted to say to my fans, you know, where I was mentally. Then after, there are a lot of stuff to talk about. The one that I've just said is one. Then after, obviously, some contract talks. But my desire at the moment is there. Yeah.
So you will stay? You don't...
My desire at the moment, yes, is there.
Is that what you mean by the board matching your sporting ambitions, in the hope that these sort of players are brought in to take Arsenal where you believe they belong?
Well, it's a bit tricky and paradoxal what I'm going to say, but, you know, I was just saying my ambition. I wasn't not trying to give advice to people. You know, if I can say, I'm no one to say this kind of thing. You know, I don't want to give any advice to no one, or say, I'm just saying a feeling, you know, after people take it how they want to take it, or translate it how they want to translate it. But, you know, people who has to deal with their thing, you know, and that's it. I wasn't meaning to say to them, to urge them to do this kind of thing. I just, you know, kind of, you know, for me it's unusual to not be in the top 4 at the moment. And that's why, you know, the commitment that we need to have at the moment, and all the talking should be on that point right now.
For you, I guess, you know, London is a lot of your life, albeit you're obviously born in France, but your wife is English, your life is here, you love Arsenal, you appreciate what Arsene Wenger's helped you with your career?
Well, I would say that, you know, always when I talk about home, I always mention London. London will always be my home, because I found myself really happy here. People are really nice and genuine with me. So here will always be my home, whatever happens. Then after, you know, as I said to you, we're in a situation where I love the club. If I didn't love the club, that would have been another story. But I do genuinely love the club and love my fans. So that's why I wanted to make that statement when I made it, because I just thought that I deserve, at least they deserve, or I do have to say to the fans where I am mentally, and what actually I want to do and my ambitions are right now. I wanted to say it.
We popped along to the new stadium yesterday to get some shots, and it's taking shape nicely, and there's, you know, the stairs as you walk in are coming up and the bits of red popping up here, there and everywhere. How much does that excite you, the thought of running out at Arsenal's new stadium?
I think we're all looking forward to be there. It's going to be something pretty special. We not nearly, obviously, a bit less, but nearly going to double the amount of people in the new stadium. So for us, it is a big step. Then how it's going to be, you know, obviously not seeing the clock end anymore, not seeing. It's going to be strange. We have to be honest about it, but you know, everyone in the dressing room are slowly, you know, but surely talking about it, and no one can wait actually. But once again, at the moment, you know, the talking are not where they should be. Everyone talks about the new stadium, everyone talks about my situation, everyone talks about the main focus right now is to finish in the top 4, and that is my main concern, and that's where I think everyone should be pulling.
To win the Premiership would be a very big ask now, and obviously you would need Chelsea to slip up as well, but Arsenal are, like you say, keeping clean sheets and hitting form now, and we're not far away from the Champions League starting up again, so in that respect, for Europe, Arsenal look in pretty good health.
Well, I don't know, because sometimes we looked amazing in the league and then we looked terrible in Europe. Sometimes we looked amazing in Europe and we were looking at the same time terrible in the league. Yeah, it's difficult to point out sometimes, to put your finger on something to know why it's working and why it's not working. But one thing I will agree with you, it does help when you don't concede goals and you kind of, you know, even though we drew against Man United and we drew also at Villa, but you're kind of on a, you know, good run.
You're happy, though, that Arsenal at the minute are going much more in the direction that you're used to them going in?
Well, yeah, and you know, if everyone has that thing, looking at themselves in the mirror and saying maybe why Arsenal is in that position, and everyone can say, looking at themselves in the mirror saying it's their fault, then therefore we can go forward. Because if everyone thinks that, you know, it's not my fault and those kind of thing, it becomes more difficult. But I can sense that at the moment that everyone knew they didn't do enough so far, so that's what we're trying to do right now.
So Arsenal have their man, although at 16 Theo Walcott hardly qualifies to be described as that. Southampton will receive up to £12 million for the fledgling striker.
We were certainly on the case longer than Chelsea because we have been after him for over 2 years now. He certainly feels that the young players get a chance here, and he loves the club. He loves some players here, and he always was a fan of Arsenal Football Club.
Very excited, just to train with world-class players. That's what I want to do as a young age, to progress, and that's the main thing.
Well, however good he is, Walcott can certainly learn a trick or two from his idol. Thierry Henry inspired Arsenal as they tore Middlesbrough apart, Henry scoring a hat-trick in a 7-0 rout.
And it's a record-equaling goal from Thierry Henry. Cliff Bastin's all-time club record for league goals is equalled. That's number 150 for the Frenchman.
It was naturally an uncomfortable afternoon for Steve McLaren.
I mean, what's going on here?
I think Theo was in control, and his people were in control of his destiny because of the contract situation he was in at Southampton. He basically had the choice of where he went, not Southampton in terms of the amount of money they could get for him. I think Chelsea seemed to be prepared to pay more money than Arsenal, but he made a decision based on, I think, the facts that he felt he'd be happier and protected for longer in a club like Arsenal that has I think a better record in a sense of younger players coming through, and he'll have more opportunity to play, I think, at Arsenal.
He's gone to a proper football club, hasn't he?
Lee, do you think he'll walk straight into the first team at Arsenal?
No, it'll be a while. Arsenal's a past master at looking at players and deciding when they're ready to go in the first team. I think he's already given him 10 days off and training, so he's sent him away to sort of collect his thoughts and realise that he's at probably one of the biggest clubs in the country. And that's a good thing, you know. He'll take his time, and the training aspect is important because he'll be introduced to the first team slowly, and the fact that Thierry Henry is going to be there, I think Theo will be a little bit overawed on the first day of training as it is.
I know we're talking fancy football, Laura, but if he took the Premiership by storm, could he be a late shout for Sven's England squad?
Oh, definitely. The way it is at the moment, I think there's a forward place up for grabs. There's any doubt about that. He's obviously have to compete against other players for that particular role. But yes, I don't see any reason why not. I mean, the thing with him is, if he continues his development, he's in that fortunate position of being anything he wants to be in terms of football.
I think that's what Arsenal has seen. He's seen that potential and said it is a gamble. But with his electric pace, he's got something that you can't buy.
I can't believe that Chelsea were prepared to pay more money, though. Can you believe that?
Well, no.
Integrity in football. But Laura, Middlesbrough, what's gone wrong at the Riverside?
Well, they've fallen like a stone. But you know, last week at Arsenal, it was a funny thing. Because they were 4-0 down at half-time, and they went on to get beat 7-0, and Steve McLaren said anything about, you know, they had 6 kids in the team and at the end. But this is an interesting. This is at the end of the start of the second half, and a little high five there with Viduka and everything. Now, call me old-fashioned, Selena, if you will, but I tell you what, if we'd done that in our day at 4-0 down at half-time, it would be like, your numbers up. It's like, get out of here. So maybe that's a little bit symptomatic of what's happening at that club at the moment.
Sure, massive match today against Wigan, Lee.
Huge. I saw them last week, and Arsenal were very good and played very well, but it was the manner of the defeat that shocked me. The fact that the players were still trying, and they tried to get everybody behind the ball, but there was no direction at all, and they certainly missed Gareth Southgate last week. I think he's back today, so he's a captain. He needs to lead the youngsters to hopefully get out of it. But I worry for them because, as Laura said, they are dropping like a stone.
He scored! That is a great centre-forwards goal by James Beattie.
A sending off right at the death will have annoyed Arsene Wenger more than it affected the outcome.
Fabregas it was who got annoyed with Cahill's foul on Henry, trying to strangle him. The referee carefully explains to the Spaniard, "You grab player by throat, you go off." "Si, senor," said Fabregas.
And have actually achieved something. They made Roman Abramovich sweat. Well, actually, sweat. He looks sort of constipated or sort of deranged more than anything else. You can be a billionaire, but he won't buy you a relaxed afternoon at the football, however much money you've got. Incidentally, Roman, buy your team a decent pitch. Surely they deserve that. And Old Trafford, the world's richest club, is no better. Terrible pitch. Here's Norman no mates watching the football today. Can't find anyone to sit next to him. He just busies himself blowing his nose, you know, cutting out of the news of the world. He'll be using it for something else later. Now, this is definitely a foul. We'll give Rooney that, but note how professionally he deals with it. It's almost a triple axel or something like that. And look how in midair he fixes his eyes on the referee. That was a foul, referee. Hypnosis, almost, and the foul is duly given. Let's have another look at Gary Neville as he does all this. The thing is, because United's changed their kit so often, he can't find his badge when he reaches for it. No, Gary, it's to the right. It's in the middle this season. It'll probably change in May, but that's where it is this year. So what's your plans for the future now, Lee? You could end up like Graham and just working with me every Sunday night. That would be really bad, that would.
Well,
There'll be better opportunities than that.
I was thinking after tonight, I'm trying to think of something else.
But quite seriously, have you got anything in mind?
No, I think there's little bits of TV work that I'm working on at the moment, but a few more holidays to the sun during the winter to play a bit more golf at the moment.
Right.
What am I going to do with my future?
Holidays in the sun, golf,
I've decided in 10 minutes. No, a bit of tennis. I'm going to become a tennis player.
All right. OK, thanks very much, gentlemen. Just a reminder that we're not on next week because it's the FA Cup, but there's plenty of live football, as I said earlier, here on the BBC. Have a good week. Bye for now.